जी सर.
Hi, my name is Rohit Verma. I'm speaking to you from India's first Metaverse Experience Center, and I have something very interesting to show you today. Um, we're going to be talking about surgical planning. This is available to any surgeon across the world, and especially in the Indian conditions where currently the surgical planning is done only after the operations on the body has started and the doctors have opened the body. Before that, the current model is to print the 3D of the organ which is to be operated upon, which takes about 5 to 6 days, and it is expensive capex for most of the hospital. But look what, I mean, the new technology of immersive tech basically has come into and is becoming the mainstream in Indian hospitals. And I am going to show you the steps that we are going to take, bringing the diacoms into the 3D model. Here I have with me my colleague Yatharth, who is on a demo for this solution. So what is happening here is there are two primary devices which are useful. One is the Oculus device that you can see mounted on his head, and you have a laptop. This Oculus device is called Quest 2, and it is a product from Facebook Meta. The laptop is a high-end laptop device which has typically a 32 GB RAM, 1 TB SSD, and is having a high-end graphic cards of 4070. Now, what scenario we have created here is that there's a DICOM image coming from a dental surgeon who is provided us this, and this DICOM image, which is kind of an X-ray of the dentistry, is now being pushed into the solution, and this solution is available here. Now, I am going to request Yatharth to take us through this. Yatharth, can you show us how you started out from the DICOM images that we received to this model? What are the features of this solution?
So once we go into the area, then we can input our images. So as we can see, the images have been input. We can push through the screen to understand where and what images and what layers are used to create the 3D model. And now what we do is we go into the creation mode of the 3D model. Now I can select the color that I want my 3D model to be. I would take here a certain yellowish hue so that I can understand, okay, this is my bone structure. And then I go to the area where I can understand, okay, I can understand this is the area where I need to add my. So now if I can see, I know my area has been highlighted, the area that I would like to recreate, and then I can start creating what exactly I need out of my 3D model. Since it would take a lot of time, all I can do is I can apply it to my source and it will create a 3D model for me out of the pure images that we have input in the system. So now when we go through the system, we can understand how the 3D models are created. Now if we see, we have the outlining, and then we go for the creation of the 3D model. This is how my 3D model is created out of pure pictures within 30 seconds time frame. So now I have a 3D model of the dental structure of the DICOMs we received from a doctor. I can study it, I can go through it completely, I can even push through the clip plane so that I can understand what 2D images have been used. And here is the part where I can go under the 3D model and over the 3D model to understand the dissection. So this is how, using this software, we can create a 3D model within a span of 30 to 60 seconds, and I can study it before going into a surgery, which can give me a much efficient and a much better outlook on how to proceed the surgery, and at the same time avoiding any critical conditions that may or may not arise during a surgery period.
So, Yatharth, can you tell me if I can calibrate my procedure on this? So, for instance, if this were to be a bone from an orthopedic surgeon, am I able to calibrate what are the dimensions of the procedure on the patient
Yes.
much before I am able to interact with the patient, open his body? I can really plan this out. Can you tell us more about that?
Right. So if I zoom into the structure, I can move close enough to study it in real life size or larger than that. Now I can annotate on the structure, wherein I can mark what areas do I need to work on. So if you can see, the entire area, if this is the area I would need to work on, is marked. At the same time, I can precisely measure it from what point to what point do I need the procedure to be. So as in this case, it is 3.6 mm. I have marked the area for any other surgeon. I have measured, and at the same time what I can do is, in this software there is a mode called collaboration mode, in which if I want, I can invite other doctors into the software, wherein they can work with me on the same software as if they are in the same environment as me on the other side of the model, and we can work on it together. If
So that's a very interesting feature of this software, wherein if you are say for instance in Gurgaon or Noida and you want to interact with a senior doctor elsewhere, say for instance the other doctor is anywhere in the world, including let's say example of in Mumbai. So using this collaborative, can you point to the collaborative feature on
Yes.
this, Yatharth? So here if you see there is a button called collaboration, and by clicking this you can enter into environment wherein multiple doctors can join you to understand what is the surgery procedure that you are planning to conduct, and they can help you with their guidance as to how the procedure needs to be conducted. So this is a very interesting feature of this. Apart from this, while there are lot many other features, but key ones are, say for instance, you want to 3D print this. So instead of putting in a capex of 2 and 5 crores for the 3D printing tool, you can actually take this and print it out in a way that is much cheaper for you. You don't have to buy the machine, but this suffices for you to take this into the printer and get a printout. Now, Yatharth, any other point that you want to cover in terms of the capability that you see? I mean, what is your view of the structure, the bone structure here? Are you inside the bone structure as of now?
No, not as of now, but if I want, I can move as much as I want to into the bone structure to study close enough to understand what is the anatomy. At the same time, I can move into the structure to understand what's inside the body, because this creates a space for me so that I can study from the inside, and I can understand how does the anatomy is shaped around the certain patient and whose DICOMs have been used to create a 3D model, and then I can plan out my surgery in the same manner so that I can avoid any criticality that might arise or it may give a birth to. At the same time, what I can do is I can minimize it enough so that I can study it as a whole at the same time, and I can take my model completely out of this place and also study it from there as well. So this software does not only allow me to study it, create a 3D model, but at the same time plan my surgery in a way wherein when I do go on to perform my surgery, it is much more efficient and much more less time consuming. At the same time, it is much more well informed when I step into the OT or a surgery room.
So one more interesting feature in this is that once you have this in your hospital, besides your surgery ICU, what you could also do is display this to your patients. So patients are always kind of anxious to know what procedure you are going to perform, what are the things that you would be conducting, and what are the things that they need to understand before the actual procedure. So the patients on this large screen can be taken through the entire gamut of things before the procedure so that their anxiety level is reduced to a considerable state. This software comes with unlimited access to the DICOM images. It is available on a annual contract, and it is 1/100th of the cost that you would probably invest into a 3D printing model and the machines. So with that, I would invite more inquiries from the surgeons, from the hospitals to understand this more. So thank you so much for staying with us and viewing this video clip. Please do write to us at yatharth@metaverse911.rs or rohit@metaverse911.rs. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.